Welcome back to another episode of Strength and Conditioning for eSport athletes. I'm Strength Coach Friedman. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the National Strength and Conditioning Association and a certified personal trainer through the American College of Sports Medicine. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about soft tissue work, that phase one of the 4 steps of a training session. Again, step 1, soft tissue work. Step 2, dynamic warm-up, some kind of movement preparation. Step 3 is going to be your actual gameplay or your strength training session. And then step 4 will be your recovery stage, your static stretching. So today I have a tool, another tool that I got from Japan that ties in with reflexology. This specific tool is usually used for the feet, but can also be used for the hand. Unlike the other tool that I showed in the last video, I was more specific to the hands. This one is a little bit longer and has a little bit more of a, it's a little bit more pointed at the end. The other one was a little bit more rounded. So this will allow you to really hone in on a trigger point a little more specifically, getting a little bit deeper for that type of massage, where the other one's going to get a little wider of an area, but not get it as deeply. So I'm going to zoom in to show you how we can use this tool to improve our performance with our hands. Okay, so here is a zoom in on this tool right here. Like I said earlier, it's a Japanese style tool made of wood. This one can be used for the feet or the hands. It's a little more pointed, and this one I think was more designed for the feet, but it can be used for either one. The tip's fairly pointed. It's a little more pointed than some of the tools we used in previous videos, but it's a pretty good one. You can use it to really kind of hone in on specific trigger points and get a nice kind of a deeper press, get a little deeper into the tissue than you can with some of the more rounded, blunt tools. Oh, I feel a good one right there. As I mentioned in previous videos, you can kind of work yourself through the hand. Sometimes there's certain maps that will be given, as I showed in a previous video, that people believe you should follow. You can, you don't have to. But those are just some common trigger point areas. And again, with a tool that's a little more pointed, always be gentle, right? You're not looking to hurt yourself. It's supposed to be restorative, it's supposed to feel good. So don't go to the point that there's any discomfort. It's just supposed to be gentle, not to cause any problems. It's one of those things, going harder isn't going to make it better. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of work my way through the palm. Now, there's a trade-off with the different shapes of the tools. With the tool that's more pointed, you can definitely get more pressure in a smaller localized spot, which can be good if you know where your trigger points are. If you don't know where your trigger points are, you might be missing things, right? So you got a smaller area, lot less surface area. So you might be missing certain trigger points using a more pointed tool like this. I usually recommend with people that I've trained, start with a larger tool, right? Like if you're using a foam roller for your legs, start with a big tool like a foam roller, and then work into a smaller tool, maybe something that you can use, like a lacrosse ball or something like this that you can use with your hand. But this is going to be one of your most pointed tools to really work in. I think if you want to get more pointed than this, you'd have to go to an acupuncturist. Acupuncture does a similar role that we're doing here. So we're working what are known as trigger points, right? In the Western world, we call it trigger points. However, in Eastern medicine, they refer to these points as acupoints or pressure points. And different texts will give different numbers of how many there are on the body. I read one text saying there are about 671 main trigger points throughout the body. And then I read a paper that was correlating trigger points, the Western kind of theology on it, with the Eastern theology, and apparently there's about a 90% crossover. So both groups are talking about the same thing. In Eastern medicine, they're talking more about, they kind of refer more to the concept of like the energies within the body, where the Western philosophy is talking more about muscle tissues and the nervous system. But it seems to be kind of the, again, 90% crossover, very similar kind of thing. So again, with this tool, just kind of work through the tissue. Be gentle. It probably looks like more intense in the video than what I'm actually doing. But just be gentle. The goal is not to cause any discomfort or pain. It's just to get your hands feeling okay. Now with a narrow tool like this, you can gently go in between some of the bones, but just be cautious. You don't want to, be pressing on any connective tissue, any tendons or ligaments or things like that are between. The fascia is okay, but just go very easy if you decide to go in between. I definitely got a little trigger point there. And again, sometimes when you hit that trigger point, you'll feel almost a little bit of a radiating sensation, right? Because you're pressing on, well, a nerve, essentially. What happens is these trigger points usually interfere with a nerve, and that's why they cause pain, right? Because they're pressing on a nerve. So sometimes you find those spots, you can work into them. But again, just be gentle. So we worked through the palm, we worked down the outside of the hand, we worked across where the thumb is, between the thumb and the pointer finger, and then we gently worked down each finger. And then we flipped, worked again between the thumb and the forefinger, gently between the bones of the hand, and then we finished off kind of at the side end of the hand again. So again, very simple. This more pointed tool just allows you to hone in on specific spots a little bit more. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on strength and conditioning for eSport athletes.